Ranking sad One Piece backstories part 1. Luffy. His backstory is a little bit sad when you think about it. He grew up without any parents. The only person that took care of him occasionally was his grandfather Garp. His grandpa would train him and test Luffy at a really young age by throwing him into the jungle to survive. Most kids probably would have died from this. Garp got tired of taking care of Luffy and gave him to some mountain bandits. Then he meets his friends and eventual brothers Ace and Sabo. During this part of his childhood, he did have a lot of fun with them, so I don't really count that as sad. Until one of the brothers, Sabo, died, which was pretty tragic for him. Overall, the main sad part about Luffy's backstory is that he never really had a family as a young kid, which is why he would find one in many different places and eventually his crew. Part 2. Zoro. His backstory is very similar to Luffy's in the sense that he was always alone as a child. Honestly, most of the Straw Hats share this trait, which is probably why they are such a strong family. From what we know, Zoro did not have many friends when he was growing up. The only ones we do know are Kuina and his master. I don't really count his master as he was more of a mentor and a father figure than he was a close friend. Kuina was the only true friend Zoro had in his childhood. They both made a promise to each other to be the greatest swordsman until the next day where she fell downstairs and died. Down these stairs was Zoro's greatest villain. All jokes aside, this was tragic for Zoro to go through. Losing his only friend right after they made a promise to each other is heartbreaking. Part 3. Nami. Her childhood was very devastating to go through. When she was really young, her eventual mom, Bellemere, found both Nami and her sister in a battlefield. She adopted both of them and retired from the Marines. Nami's life during this time was not bad per se. Yes, she was poor, but she still had a loving family and community. Until the Arlong pirates showed up and basically flipped everything upside down. Arlong and his crew subjugated all of the people in Cocoa Village and made them pay tribute. Nami's family was poor, so they didn't have enough money to afford this tribute. Because of this, Nami's mom was killed right in front of her. This alone is already very traumatic, but it doesn't end there. After her mom's death, she was taken by the Arlong pirates because of her mapping skills. They made a deal with Nami that if she were to bring Arlong 100,000 berries, he would set the village free. On top of losing her mom, she now had the weight of an entire village on her shoulders and had to work with the same awful people that killed her mother. This is super traumatizing stuff, especially for a little kid to go through. Part 4. Honest Usopp. His life was very lonely as a kid. His dad left him when he was very young, and all he had was his mom. He would pretend that the pirates came back to the village as a coping mechanism for his dad returning. Not too long after, his mother dies from some illness. This was really harsh for Usopp because now he had nobody in the village. A couple years later, he did eventually make some new friends. The Usopp Pirates were formed, and at this time, he finally had a group of people that would keep him company. He also met Kaya from the mansion and noticed that she was also alone, just like he used to be. So he befriended her and shared stories to comfort her. From this time until the present, Usopp didn't really go through any more trauma. Part 5. Sanji. What a harsh way to start a life. Sanji was born into the Vinsmoke family, a rough group of scientifically advanced mercenaries. He was one of 4 kids who were genetically modified to be super powerful. The problem was, Sanji was a bit of a defect compared to the rest of his siblings. While all of them excelled at physical activities, Sanji was far behind and could not catch up. He had a softer side to him that was not present in the other children. Because of this, he was beaten, abused, and the shame of the family. Sanji's father was so upset with him that he locked Sanji into a dungeon to never be seen again. By the stroke of luck, Sanji was eventually able to escape. Once he made it away from his psychotic family, he moved to the East Blue. In the East Blue, he worked on a ship until it was ravaged by the Cook Pirates. The ship capsized and left both Sanji and the captain of this crew, Zeph, on a rock outcropping. They both starved there for 90 days and Zeph even had to eat his own leg to survive. Eventually, they were saved and started the Baratier. Sanji's childhood was a mix of physical and psychological abuse as a kid by his own